host Nizzy, and in this video, you guys, we're going to be doing a Packers versus Lions game preview. Got a game coming up on Monday Night Football this week, you guys. Both teams in the division are going to be looking to bounce back from tough Week 1 losses. Obviously, the Lions fared a little bit better than us Packers did. Packers got absolutely demolished in Week 1, 38-3 by the Saints. The Lions ended up losing their matchup against the 49ers by a score of 41-33. They made it pretty close at the end of the game there, being able to secure that onside kick, go down for a touchdown. At least make it look acceptable, the loss, comparatively to the Packers, who just got absolutely stomped, you guys. Right real quick before we go ahead and get into this video, if you can go ahead and like this video, if you're looking for more sporting content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. I've been getting a lot of support on the channel lately, you guys, and I greatly appreciate it. We're going to be coming out with as many videos as possible here in the near future. And without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and start breaking down the Packers versus Lions preview and heading into the Week 2 matchup here on Monday Night Football in Lambeau Field. Should be a good game. Like I said, the Packers need a huge bounce back this week after just getting absolutely annihilated by the Saints. We got to be able to put up some points here. 3 points will never be enough to win you a game in the NFL, especially when your defense isn't very stout like the Packers is. We pretty much looked like Swiss cheese out there on the field all night long against the Saints last week. And then for the Lions here, they're just a scrappy, fighting, clawing team. Obviously, they're taking on that identity of Dan Campbell a little bit there, you guys. So we're going to have to give it everything we got to be able to win this game. I expect this game to be very close still. I think it's going to be a tough matchup for the Packers. Just, you know, those divisional matchups are always pretty tough like that. And the Lions are, you know, a scrappy bunch of dudes. You know, they're not expected or projected to be doing very good this year. So, you know, they're going to be coming in with that underdog mentality every single week and looking for those upsets. So we got to be on our game and readily prepared to, you know, hopefully put a beat down on the Lions here. It'd be nice to see us come in with a blowout victory. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. I think the Lions are going to give us a run for their money for sure. And the Packers are going to have to be ready for it, man. It's going to be an absolute slugfest, I think. Good classic divisional matchup. I guess we'll start off with the injury report, you guys. Starting off with the Green Bay Packers here. We got a few guys on the injured list. Nothing too crazy. I think we only got four main guys here that ended up picking up injuries in the Week 1 game. We got Lucas Patrick, the guard for us. He's questionable to play Monday with a concussion. So that's not a huge deal if he doesn't end up playing. We got John Runyon who can fill in for him at the starting left guard spot if need be. He did pretty decent for us last season. I don't see him being that much of a downgrade at the guard spot if Lucas Patrick is not ready to go for us. Probably the biggest and most notable injury for the Packers is Za'Darius Smith went down with the back injury. He's been dealing with it since the start of the training camp this season here, you guys. They decided to shut him down and put him on the injured reserve for a few weeks with a back injury, so he's not going to be playing for, I believe the minimum he has to sit out is 3 weeks. So we won't be seeing him for the foreseeable future. Pretty unfortunate, obviously, with him being our best pass rusher and one of the staples on the defensive side of the ball for our squad there. But at the end of the day, I think it's the right decision on the Packers brass to shut the guy down and just let him fully heal up. Obviously, we got bigger aspirations than just winning a few games at the beginning of the season, and we're going to need a guy like Z to be ready to roll later on in the season when the games matter that much more. So I like the decision on shutting him down and letting him get healthy. Obviously, it might hurt us a little bit in the short term, but it's going to give a good opportunity to guys like Jonathan Garvin, Rashawn Gary, Chauncey Rivers. Those guys are going to get an opportunity to step up on that outside linebacker slot. They're going to get a lot more snaps in Monday night's game. So we're going to have to see how those guys perform. And then over Josiah DeGuara, our tight end, is questionable as well with a concussion. Most likely he will not be playing in Monday night's game, which is very unfortunate after he tore his ACL last season and ended up missing most of the season with the torn ACL. Comes back in the first game since that injury and ends up getting a concussion. It looked a lot worse than what it was, you guys. I thought he had a severe injury when he went down there, but he must have been knocked out for a short period of time because he just looked very unresponsive on the field in that Week 1 matchup there. So hopefully that concussion isn't too serious and he can come back. Like I said, I don't think he'll be playing Monday night, but if he can be back for the San Francisco 49ers game next week, that'll be huge to have him back in the fold there. And then same with Darnell Savage. He's questionable to play today. Vernon Scott's also going to be out again for the second straight week, so our safety room's going to be a little bit weak. They're going to have maybe a guy like Innis Gaines coming up off the practice squad to fill in as a backup role. Henry Black's probably going to be starting in place of Darnell Savage there. So he's going to get a good opportunity to show what he's got out on the field. And then we'll have to see what happens, you guys. Over to the Lions for the injuries. A big-time one that happened in week 1, Jeff Okudah, one of their better cornerbacks. I believe he's a second or third-year guy now. He ended up tearing his Achilles, unfortunately, in that week 1 game. So he's on IR. He's going to be done for the season. Very unfortunate for the Lions. Like I said, he's one of their better cornerbacks. So that's unfortunate for them. Another big injury that he's questionable to play in Monday night's game is DeAndre Swift is questionable with a groin injury. Now, hopefully this guy's ready to go for the Lions. Obviously, I'd be stoked as a Packers fan if he's not, because he's an absolute beast out on the field. Just one of those multifaceted running backs who can catch the ball and run the ball out of the backfield with ease. Obviously, they got Jamal Williams there, ex-Packer, great guy. Great energy guy out on the field. So if DeAndre Swift isn't ready to go, you can expect Jamal Williams to get the bulk of the carries and the targets out of the backfield. So they should be in good hands regardless if Swift plays or not. But obviously having that two-headed tandem between Williams and Swift will be huge to have both those guys out on the field. And then another injury for them that's questionable is Trey Flowers, their linebacker. He's questionable with a shoulder injury as well. So, a few guys injured here and there on that team as well as ours. So the injuries are pretty much evened out across the board. They're missing some bigger time names and then just some role players as well. So we'll have to see how everything plays out in the game. Going to need some, bench players to be able to step up and have some impactful minutes out on the field for both teams here coming up in Monday Night Football, you guys. Now we'll just head over and do some keys to the game here for both teams. We'll start off with the Lions first. And I think a few keys to the game for the Lions to be able to come out with the victory against my Packers here, you guys. They're going to need to dominate the time of possession. That's going to be probably their biggest concern going into this game is, own that time of possession. If you can keep Aaron Rodgers off the field, keep the ball out of his hands, slow the game down just like what New Orleans did. They just slowed the game down on us. I believe we only had 12 plays that were ran in the first half before we got the ball with a minute left in the first half of the game against the Saints. So if they can really run the ball well on the Packers and be able to dominate that time of possession and limit the amount of possessions and plays that are be able to run by the Packers offense, I think the Lions can, have a good chance at coming out on top in this game. I think another huge thing for them is going to be not to turn the ball over. Obviously, we had that one interception that got called back on Jameis Winston last week for roughing the passer. So we ended up not getting any turnovers last week. So you're going to want to see that Packers defense step up and get some turnovers. It'd be huge for us, and that's going to be huge for the Lions not to turn the ball over. And I think they're going to be able to do a pretty decent job of being able to keep the ball in their hands as long as they don't allow too much pressure on Jared Goff. He's always been a solid quarterback when he's in the pocket as long as he's not under heavy pressure. So as long as that offensive line for the Detroit Lions can stand up and be stout and be able to keep him upright, I think that he'll have a nice day out on the field there. Probably won't have any turnovers, but if the Packers are able to apply some pressure on him, I could see him turning the ball over once or twice with either a fumble or an interception. And then the last key to the game, I believe that's going to be huge for the Lions if they want to come out with a victory, you guys. They're going to really need to apply the pressure on Aaron Rodgers with their defensive front there. Obviously, he didn't get pressured too much last week. He only got sacked one time. A couple quarterback hits on him as well, but I thought our offensive line held up pretty decent against what I believe is a better defensive line in the Saints. So it's going to be huge, especially they got Flowers out, one of their defensive outside linebackers for the Lions. So they're going to need some guys to step up and really be able to get to the quarterback and be applying that pressure to Aaron Rodgers if they're going to want to have success getting him uncomfortable in that pocket and maybe forcing a couple more turnovers on the guy. Then heading over to the keys to the game for the Packers, you guys. No surprise here. First key to the game, start fast. We need an early touchdown drive. If we end up winning the coin toss, I hope that Matt LaFleur ends up taking the ball so that way we can just drive down the field and go hopefully get a touchdown on the opening drive of the game. I think it's going to be huge to get a lead and just start fast and get our confidence going. I don't think we want to be sitting on the sideline, for the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game waiting for the ball. And having them get a lead on us. So I think it's going to be huge to start fast, get a couple early touchdowns, focus on the run game as well. That's my next key to the game for the Packers is establishing that run, which we did not even do whatsoever in the first game against the Saints. So it's going to be huge to establish that run. Obviously, we're not going to be going up against as good of a defensive front in the Detroit Lions, so we should be able to do a little bit better in the run game. especially with our run blocking as well. We should have some bigger holes for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon to bust through here today. I would expect them to get a lot more carries, you guys, especially comparatively to last week. There was hardly any carries for our star running backs. So I think that Matt LaFleur is going to change up that game plan and really focus heavily on the run game and then be able to run the play action pass off of the run. So, and then the last key to the game here for our defense, you guys, I kind of talked about it with the Lions. Keys to the game is we got to get pressure on Jared Goff. Like I said, anytime we've played the guy in pass when he was with the Rams, if we had lots of pressure on him, he would start making mistakes in the pocket. He is turnover prone with fumbling the ball as well. He's not very good at picking up the feeling the pressure of the blind side. When he's getting hit from behind, he does have the tendency to fumble the ball lots when he does get sacked from the blind side. So hopefully we can apply some good pressure to him, force a few sacks on him today, and just get him uncomfortable in that pocket early. Hopefully force a few interceptions or force fumbles for sack as well. So we'll have to see what happens there, you guys. Should be a good game. Obviously, the divisional matchup, so these games are always usually a lot closer than to be expected. I know a lot of people are predicting the Packers to have a blowout game. I thought it would have been a blowout game, but after seeing the way the Lions scrapped and fought and clawed back into the game against the San Francisco 49ers last week, I think this one's going to be a slugfest right till the end. I could see the Packers having to go on a game-winning field goal drive here to be able to seal the deal against the Lions. And I think the final score is going to be 31-28 for the Packers. Like I said, I think we're going to have to go on a final game-winning drive at the end of the game and seal the deal with a field goal. I think the Lions are going to be scrapping and clawing and fighting to keep it close the entire game through. And I think they will do just that. So I think it's going to be a close one, but I think the Packers are going to be able to hang on to go to a record of 1-1, you guys, and the Lions are going to fall to 0-2. So that's my prediction for the game, a little preview for you guys. Would love to get your guys' opinion in the comments section down below. Do you think the Packers are going to be able to pull out the dub on Monday Night Football, or do you think we're going to be upset by the Lions? Once again, would love your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. Once again, you guys, I appreciate taking the time to watch this video, and every video on my channel. Been getting a lot of support lately, man. It means a lot to me. We're going to keep coming out with as many videos as possible here in the near future. If you could go ahead, please, and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're looking for more sporting content like this in the future, you guys. Once again, thanks for watching the video, and this is Nizzy with Nizzy Sports Channel.